I've always been careful about who I talk to online. After a messy breakup, I told myself I'd take a break from dating, but loneliness has a strange way of convincing you to try again. That's how I ended up on a dating app one quiet Friday night. His name was Ethan. His profile was minimal. A blurry picture of a guy in a baseball cap sitting in an old truck. No flashy bio, just one line. I work with my hands and prefer coffee over cocktails. It felt refreshingly normal. I swiped right without thinking much of it. When we matched, I didn't expect him to message me first, but within seconds, he did. "You look like someone who reads before bed." That one line caught me off guard. It wasn't flirtatious. It felt observant. We talked until 3 a.m. that night. About everything. Our favorite movies, weird childhood fears, the kind of small talk that slowly becomes personal without you realizing it. He said he was 31, worked nights as a mechanic, lived one town over. We talked for 2 weeks straight, every night, always after 10 p.m. He never wanted to video call, said his phone camera was cracked. I brushed it off. Not everyone loves being on camera. Still, something about his voice notes made me trust him. It was calm, slow, comforting, like someone who thought before speaking. Finally, he asked if I wanted to meet. I hesitated. "We've never even FaceTimed," I said. He laughed. "That's fair, but I'd really like to see you in person. I can meet wherever you're comfortable." We agreed on a 24-hour diner off the highway between our towns. Public, well-lit, familiar. That night I dressed simple. Jeans, sweater, hair tied up. I remember checking the mirror twice, telling myself it was fine. When I got to the diner, it was almost empty. A few truckers at the counter, a couple in a corner booth, the smell of burnt coffee lingering in the air. I texted him, "I'm here sitting by the window." He replied right away, "Perfect. Be there soon. Send me a pic so I know which booth." I hesitated. It was odd. I told him exactly where I was, but I brushed it off as nerves. I snapped a quick selfie, sent it, and waited. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. I was about to leave when my phone buzzed again. "Got it. You look even prettier in person." My breath caught. In person? I turned my head slowly toward the window. Across the street was a gas station closed for the night, except for one flickering light above the pumps. Beneath it stood a man in a hoodie and cap, facing the diner. My stomach dropped. He wasn't moving, just standing, watching. I quickly looked down at my phone. "Ethan," I typed. "Are you across the street?" No reply. A waitress came by to refill my coffee. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked. "Yeah," I lied. "Just waiting for someone." She frowned. "You sure? That guy out there's been watching the place for a while now." My blood turned to ice. I forced a small laugh. Probably waiting for someone too. But my hands were shaking. I texted Ethan again. "I think I'm going to head home." Immediately, another message came through. "Don't. I'm already inside." I froze. My eyes darted around the diner, the truckers, the couple, the waitress. No one looked like Ethan. Then I saw it. A baseball cap, low over someone's face, half hidden in a back booth. I could only see his mouth, pale, unmoving. I grabbed my bag and stood. The waitress looked at me again, concern clear in her eyes. "I think someone's following me," I whispered. She didn't hesitate. "You're not walking out alone," she said, motioning to two truckers. "Hey, can you walk her to her car?" They nodded immediately. We stepped outside together. The night air was freezing, the highway silent except for the distant hum of tires. No one was across the street now. I got in my car, locked the doors, and sped off, shaking so hard I could barely keep the wheels steady. Halfway home, I looked in the rearview mirror. For a split second, I could have sworn I saw headlights following me. But when I turned off onto my street, they vanished. I got home, locked every door, and blocked Ethan on everything. But the next morning, I woke up to a text from an unknown number. "You shouldn't have had those men walk you out. That was our night." My heart stopped. I ran to the window. The street was empty, but my trash can had been moved slightly closer to my porch. Something I hadn't done. I called the police. When I gave them his number, they traced it to a prepaid phone bought in cash. Then they asked to see his dating profile. The detective scrolled through it, frowned, and said quietly, "Ma'am, these photos belong to a missing person from 2016. I felt sick. Every message, every word, every voice note, all from a man who never existed. Whoever was behind that profile had used someone else's identity. A few weeks later, I moved apartments, changed my number, deleted every dating app. But sometimes I'll wake up to a faint knock on the door around 3 a.m. Not loud, just 3 slow taps. The first time it happened, I called the police. They found nothing, no footprints, no sign of forced entry. The second time, I didn't even get up. Now I just lie there, heart racing, and wait for it to stop. Because I know whoever it is, they already know I'm awake. I'm not the kind of guy who usually gets dates online. I'm 34, quiet, work in IT, and spend most nights fixing servers from home. I'm not unattractive, just forgettable. So when Lila matched with me, I assumed it was a mistake. Her profile looked like something out of a dream. Shoulder-length red hair, sharp green eyes, the kind of smile that makes you feel like you've already done something right. Her first message wasn't a hey or hi. It was, "You have the kind of face that looks better in the dark." It made me laugh, then overthink it, then laugh again. We talked all night. She said she was a photographer into old architecture and forgotten places. She claimed to love silence, the kind that feels like it's watching you. Creepy, yeah, but charming. We talked every day for a week. She always texted late, never during the day. Sometimes she'd vanish mid-conversation and come back hours later with excuses like, "I was developing photos," or "I had to take care of something." She never wanted to video call, said her phone camera was broken. Déjà vu, right? But she sent voice notes, soft, low, confident. She always called me Eli. Nobody calls me Eli. My profile said Elijah, and I never told her the nickname. But I liked the way she said it, like she'd known me a long time. One night she texted me, "I feel like I already know you." I replied, "You say that to everyone?" She sent a winking emoji and said, "No, only the ones whose houses I've seen." I froze. I laughed it off, thinking she was joking. "What, you Googled me?" No reply for 2 minutes. Then, something like that. The conversation shifted to normal things after that, but something in my gut tightened. 2 days later, she asked if we could meet. Her suggestion, my place. "It's quieter than a bar," she said. "We could cook together." I hesitated. I'd never had anyone from a dating app over before, but she made it sound casual, safe. I agreed. We planned for Saturday night. That day, she texted, "Don't clean up too much. I like houses that feel lived in." That made me pause. I hadn't told her anything about my house. No pictures, nothing. Just a small place outside town. When the clock hit 8, there was a knock on my door. I opened it, and there she was, exactly like her pictures, maybe prettier. But what froze me wasn't her looks. It was how comfortable she seemed. She stepped inside without waiting for me to invite her. "Wow," she said, glancing around. "It looks just like I remembered." "Remembered?" I asked. She smiled. "Sorry, I meant it feels familiar." I tried to ignore the chill that crawled up my spine. She walked straight into my kitchen. "You still keep the knives on the counter, right?" I froze again. She opened a drawer, took one out, and twirled it playfully. "How'd you know that?" I asked. She smiled. "Lucky guess." We ate dinner, made awkward small talk. She kept asking questions that felt, invasive. "Do you ever sleep with your window open? What time do you usually turn off your lights? Does anyone ever visit you?" Each time she'd laugh it off, but her eyes, those piercing green eyes, never looked away. At one point, my phone buzzed. It was a security alert from my door camera app. Movement detected, front door. That didn't make sense. The alert showed a timestamp from 3:17 a.m. last night. The footage was grainy, but I could clearly see someone standing at my door. A woman. Long hair. Red jacket. Lila was wearing that same red jacket now. My mouth went dry. "Hey, Lila," I said carefully. "Were you here last night?" She didn't look surprised. She smiled slowly and said, "You left your porch light on." I stood up. "Why would you?" She interrupted, voice calm. "You think it's strange, don't you? That I know things about you. But it's only strange because you never notice who's watching." Her tone shifted. She wasn't joking anymore. "I've been watching you for weeks, Eli. You walk to the kitchen at 1:12 a.m. every night for water. You leave your keys on the third hook, not the first. You always triple lock the door before bed, but you forget the back window." I backed away. "Get out." She smiled again. "I've already been in, Eli. You just didn't wake up." My blood ran cold. She took a step closer, the knife still in her hand. "I took photos while you slept. I was going to show you tonight, but now..." She tilted her head. "You're scared of me." I ran for the door, but she was faster. She threw herself between me and the exit. Her calmness broke. Her voice cracked with anger. "Why do you make it so hard to be close to you?" She lunged. I grabbed her wrist, twisted. The knife clattered to the floor. We struggled. She was stronger than she looked. I shoved her away and ran outside, barefoot, screaming for help. My neighbor, an older man named Frank, came out with a bat. When we went back in, the door was wide open, but she was gone. The police searched the area. They found her car parked down the street, empty. Inside were dozens of photos, all of me, sleeping, working, watching TV. The oldest one was dated 3 weeks before we even matched online. The detective looked through them and said quietly, "She's been here before." Her real name wasn't Lila. The ID in her car belonged to a woman missing from another state. The address led nowhere. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. I covered my windows, changed my locks, installed cameras everywhere. But sometimes, when I check the footage, there's this faint, static blur near the edge of the frame, almost like a figure standing just out of view. Once, I swear I saw green eyes flash through the darkness. The police never found her, and every now and then, I still get new friend requests on dating apps from profiles with no pictures. The bios are always the same. I love forgotten places and familiar houses. I wasn't looking for love. I was looking for distraction. I'd just moved to a new city after a brutal breakup, and my apartment felt like a hotel room. Clean, quiet, empty. So when my coworker told me to try a dating app, I downloaded one out of boredom more than hope. Most matches were fake, or worse, dull. Until Mira. Her profile was different. No filters, no perfect poses, just 3 photos. One in a bookstore, one at a bus stop, and one where she was looking away from the camera, half smiling, like someone caught her off guard. Her bio said only, "If we match, it's for a reason." We did. Her first message came instantly. "You finally found me." I laughed. Pretty confident opening line. She replied, "No, I meant you finally found me again." I frowned. "Again?" She sent a smile emoji and said, "We'll talk later. I'm glad you're here." I should have unmatched her right there, but curiosity overruled instinct. She was funny, sharp. We talked about everything. Art, weird dreams, city noise, loneliness. She always seemed to know exactly what I was thinking, finishing my sentences before I sent them. When I joked about insomnia, she said, "I know. You stare at your ceiling between 2 and 3 a.m., then give up and check your phone." I froze. "How would you know that?" "Lucky guess," she replied. Over the next few days, I realized Mira didn't seem to exist anywhere else. No Facebook, no Instagram, no LinkedIn. Reverse image search turned up nothing. When I asked, she said, "I deleted all of that. Too many copies of me out there." I didn't understand what she meant, but her voice notes had this calm, steady warmth that made everything sound normal. By the end of the week, she suggested we meet. Her tone changed slightly when she said it, less like a question, more like a command. "Let's meet Saturday. There's a park near you, the one with the broken fountain." That stopped me. "How do you know where I live?" "I told you," she said softly. "We've met before." I laughed nervously. "Okay, where?" "You wouldn't remember. You never do." She wouldn't explain further. I didn't sleep much that night. Part of me wanted to block her. The other part felt drawn to her, like I'd known her voice my whole life. Saturday came. I went to the park, mostly to prove to myself she wasn't real. The fountain she mentioned was there, cracked and dry. I sat on the bench beside it, phone in hand, half expecting her to ghost me. Then I saw her. She walked toward me from the far path, hair slightly windblown, that same half smile from her picture. She looked ordinary, real. That was what made it unsettling. "Hey," she said softly, sitting beside me without asking. "It's been a while." I swallowed. "We've never met." She tilted her head. "Not like this, no." We talked for an hour. It was strangely comfortable. She knew things about me she shouldn't. My favorite movie, the name of my dog growing up, the street I used to live on as a kid. I finally asked, "How do you know all this?" She smiled faintly. "Because you told me once." "When?" "In another version." I tried to laugh it off. "What's that supposed to mean?" She turned to me, eyes bright but empty. "You always say that." Something about her tone, the certainty, made my skin crawl. When I got home that night, I noticed something strange. My phone gallery had a new album, Mira. Inside were photos, me sitting on the bench that afternoon, from angles no one could have taken. I didn't see anyone else at the park. I called her. "How did you get these?" She answered immediately, whispering, "Don't delete them this time." Then she hung up. I stopped using the app after that, deleted my profile, uninstalled everything. A few nights later, my phone rang at 3:12 a.m., unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to pick up. Why did you leave? Her voice, Mira's voice. Mira, how did you get my number? You gave it to me before, when you said you'd stay. I hung up. Heart racing, I opened the window for air. Across the street, a woman was standing under a flickering streetlight. Long hair, still, watching. Then my phone buzzed again. Don't be scared. It's just starting again. The next morning, I woke up to find something odd. The bookshelf in my living room, one I'd built myself, had a photo on it that wasn't there before. A Polaroid. It was me, asleep in my bed. And beside me, in the corner of the frame, the faint outline of a woman. I called the police. They checked my apartment. No forced entry. They brushed it off as a prank. I stopped sleeping after that. But it didn't stop. Every night around 3 a.m., my lights would flicker. My phone would buzz once, always from unknown. If I answered, I'd hear faint breathing and a soft hum, like static mixed with whispering. One night I heard my own voice echo back. You finally found me. I bought a new phone, moved apartments, changed numbers. For a while it was quiet. Then one night, my coworker Kevin messaged me a link. Hey, this girl matched with me. Isn't she your type? It was her. Same 3 pictures, same bio. My stomach dropped. I messaged the profile from a burner account. Who are you? The reply came instantly. We already met once, but you forgot again. I stopped responding, but Kevin didn't. 2 days later, he didn't show up to work. They found his car near the river, engine running, driver's seat empty. His phone was still connected to the dating app. Last message sent at 3:11 a.m. It said, I can see you now. I couldn't stay silent anymore. I went to the police with everything. The photos, the messages, the calls. They took my statement, ran a trace on the number. The officer came back 20 minutes later, looking pale. He said, Sir, that number hasn't been in use since 2012. I moved again, deleted every social media account, started therapy. It worked for a while. Then, 2 weeks ago, I woke up at 3:14 a.m. My phone, a brand new one with a new SIM, lit up on the nightstand. A notification from an app I hadn't installed. Mira wants to match with you. I froze. I opened the app. My profile picture was already uploaded. Same photo from my old account, one I'd deleted over a year ago. Her profile said, You always try to leave, Eli, but you're already part of me. I dropped the phone. It buzzed one last time. Voice note. Her whisper, close, almost inside my ear. Look behind you. I turned. The glow from my phone screen barely reached the dark corner of the room. But there, reflected in the window, I saw 2 shapes. Me, and behind me her face smiling. I don't remember what happened next. The police said my neighbor called when they heard glass shatter and someone screaming. They found me outside, barefoot, bleeding from my hands. My apartment was wrecked, the mirror smashed, furniture overturned. But here's the part they don't understand. In the broken pieces of glass, they found photos, printed, old, faded, each one of me, in different apartments, different years, always asleep. And beside me in every photo was her. They told me to rest, to forget. But at night, I still hear it. The faint buzz of a notification that doesn't exist. When I check my phone, there's always one open app I never downloaded. It doesn't have a name, just an icon, a cracked camera lens. When I tap it, it opens to a photo. Always the same one. Me, sleeping. And behind me, Mira, smiling.